Hello and welcome back to Blueprints. Last time we ended up doing a lot more than I thought we would, which is awesome. Let's take a look at my history to see what happened. Yes, we unlocked the shrine, which is great. And today I'm going to be starting with one of those blessings from the shrine. Let's see. We solved the puzzle of the utility closet. That's right, because we finally accessed the terminal in the office, which I should have done the first time, but it's okay. We got there. And then immediately, pretty much, went to the utility closet, solved the puzzle, and unlocked the gemstone cavern, which is great. So now I'm starting with 2 extra gems every day. I also learned that there's 2 back entrances to the tunnel, or 2 ways to the other side of the tunnel, whatever that means. So possibly we need to be looking out for a way to leave the house from the back or the east side or something like that. And we also pulled the last gas switch, which unlocked an elevator. And the elevator led us to the precipice, I think is what it was called. And there wasn't too much down there. There were some notes about how the pathways down there were pretty ancient. And there was also the chess puzzle that I had been dreading for so long. And it seems like it's not nearly as hard as I thought it would be, which is great. I think what is happening there is that there are multiple rooms that you can draft that have the different chess pieces, either a pawn, a rook, a knight, a bishop, a king, or a queen. So I just need to be on the lookout for those, and once I have one of each one, I can go out and solve that puzzle by placing them where I've placed those rooms on the grid. So yeah, it doesn't seem too bad. I think I had all the rooms figured out. I actually don't even know if I wrote them down. I might have to do that. I can probably do that later in this episode too if I want, because I kind of remember where they were. And I can look at the history, which is nice. I think I want to start by going down there this time. And I'm having trouble deciding. Let's do outside room first, and then we'll go down to the precipice. Just in case I get some outside room that affects something that might happen down there. Okay. The one out of these 3 that I have not seen is Tomb. Each time you draft a dead end in your house, spread 5 coins in the tomb. Interesting. So, at some point, if I want to come back out to the tomb to collect my money, it could potentially be a lot, because there are a lot of dead ends. Yeah, let's do it. Hello? Oh, my controller disconnected. Okay, here we go. Okay, down the staircase. Wow. A much larger tomb than I was expecting. Although I guess this is a mansion, so not sure why I was expecting a tiny tomb. Wow, and it gets bigger. These statues seem like they're probably important. Yep, I can interact with them. Interesting. So, my first thought is that I wonder if the statues' poses need to match the stained glass in the chapel. That seems like it makes sense to me. Let's read this. Open only in the event of my death. Simon, so here's where it all ends, at least for me. And all of the picturesque places of this grand estate And of all the picturesque places on this grand estate, I chose this dreary, dank dungeon to be laid to rest. And that same dim, somber fate fell upon my father and his father before him, who loved the outdoors even more than myself. They say there is no stronger bond of servitude than tradition, and family tradition, thrice as strong. These are chains that seldom bend and never break. And I do wonder what plans and prospects of yours will be sacrificed upon the family font of convention. What biography of your own will you forsake to add another page to your father's memories, or your mother's or mine? In our youth we are gifted with dreams and ambitions. At our death we are left with realities and regrets. I think there is no greater sin than to perpetuate tradition that stagnates growth, that strangles purpose, that suffocates dreams. What point is there to live another's life at the sake of our own? Oh, how I wish to have been buried underneath the great oak, overlooking the plains, the wondrous woods, and the worldly mountains, and the wild holly that surrounds that trunk, a perpetual token of sympathy laid across my grave. What dreadful tradition is it that dumped me in this sunless hollow? And if by morbid example this dark crypt makes any impression whatsoever on you, if reading this letter within these damp halls plants in you a seed of hope, if these words might grant you strength to bend, if not break, these chains, then would I cherish this tomb more than oak, and sycamore and spruce, more than the wondrous woods and worldly mountains. This cold stone room would become the most cherished place in all our domain. I would have you raise a shrine upon this spot to commemorate the moment of your liberty, to treat this sepulchre as hallowed ground, to realize that grand gestures can be as effective as they are theatric, and to, in turn, as recompense for the freedom thus granted you, commit yourself to be buried here within this mausoleum of dreams. And when the day comes to write your own letter, to inspire the next generation that follows in our footsteps, as is tradition. Herbert S. Sinclair. Huh. That's really nice. I like that. Basically just an admission that this is the last place he wants to be buried, but he'll do it if it means that it'll have an effect on future generations. I like that a lot. Okay. There's a digging spot. Man, this is like a maze. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to look back at those stained glass windows in the chapel, and that'll probably tell me how to set up all these statues. Interesting. Huh. Each of our journeys come to a conclusion here in the tomb. This floor plan is the definitive dead end. Or is it? Huh. This seems like it might be important. I think I might just need to take a picture with my phone. I know that's not like the normal way to take screenshots, but it's an easy way to have it on hand off to the side for me. So that's what I'll do. And it didn't seem like I could interact with it at all. Can't interact with that specific torch. And this is where I came in. And the middle... Oh, this is the back. Okay. So... yeah, I will come back here for coins probably, and also if I get the chapel, I'll take a note of how everyone is posed and come here and try to pose them that way. What I'm assuming is that even if I get to the chapel and learn all the poses, I think the one chapel, or one statue, which I think is of Orinda, is actually just in the cloister and not in the tomb. But we can always check once I get to that point. What I'd like to do now is go down to the precipice, because I stopped exploring out of fear of running out of steps. So I'd like to continue what I was doing. There's probably nothing left down there, but I just want to make sure while I do have steps on me. Okay. Oops, walking too fast. Okay. There's the chess puzzle. Yeah, and it's all the same pieces around it, so I just need to draft rooms that have those pieces. I do not yet have the queen room yet. Oh, here we go. Foreman's copy, do not remove from sight. Realm and blank. Sigils of the past and present, probably. By Professor R. Willard. Van Aries, Robert Byrd and Sons. 1905. Introduction, maybe? First era found either of a natural resulting from the creations of, were accustomed to record various signs with the aid of blank. They did this in order that the something of their realm might not be understood by strangers. Okay, the understood, it looks kind of funny because you can tell they only typed starting with the E, but there's not enough cut off, so you can tell there's no letter next to it. Anyway, historically speaking, sigils are not a new tradition. They have been found in every era and every culture and predate both written text and heraldic arts. However, today, when we use the term sigil, we are referring specifically to realm sigils, those crude circular marks of designation found on royal artifacts, buildings, and other documents, and older documents. This book was written to make simple the understanding of these fascinating glyphs and to clearly display the correlation between each sigil and the iconography of that realm's royal art. How is the image of a leafless burning tree seen in geometric lines, and what does that tell us of the kingdom's history? Each line, each circle, and each variation tells a story of the land. Even the adorned borders around the sigils have special meaning. This one's interesting because it has multiple little, I don't know if those are mountains or teeth or just crowns, I don't know. The sigil. To understand a realm sigil, we must first dismantle the symbol and identify the individual elements that make up the whole. Each sigil is composed of 4 things: the core, the dividing lines, the moats, the border. Okay? The core. At the center of each sigil is a unique shape, different for each realm. If the core gives us a name, then the rest of the sigil tells us the history behind that name. Still, it is important to be able to identify and distinguish the core as a first step in deciphering any sigil, as all the other parts are meaningless if we don't first know the place we are describing. Several exam from well-known... Okay. Well, the first one says Orin, which makes me think of Orinda, which is that statue that I mentioned. That was in the cloister, I think. Fe kind of reminds me of Fen Aries, but I don't know if that's related or not. There's ER, there's COR, there's AR. The rays. Something forth from the core will come, something dividing lines, splitting the sigil. From one sigil to another, the rays, I guess, differ in number, style, and something. The differences in these immediately reveal several things about the realm. And there's a lot missing from this page. Counting the something sigil will reveal transportation. Were they something on ships or have employed expanse of? So the rays possibly tell us something about like the way that they travel through the kingdom, maybe. Interesting. Ship routes. 8 rays on these. The directions, rows, maybe like a compass rose. Carriages here look like something, a map. Rough trails, another 4 rays, however, be configured horse galloping. Locomotion, rays here are used for realms that rely track-based travel. Okay, and then this page is completely missing. Wavy lines are used to indicate extreme heat. The scorched air and blazing sun cause the otherwise straight rays to appear shimmering. Yep, okay. A rainy realm is indicated with rays of 3 vertical lines pouring down. For more extreme stormy weather, a jagged lightning-shaped ray is used. A ray dotted with falling circles is used for colder realms in which snow is a common occurrence. Windy weather is displayed on sigils by the use of bent curved lines, rays buckling under the high winds. So they're used for weather, but somehow they're also used for travel. I'm not sure how you would differentiate between the two, but interesting. Number 3, moats. On each sigil floating between the rays are small figures called moats. From the shape and style of the moats used on a sigil, we can tell the type of a society a given realm proclaimed, if they consider themselves mighty in arms or blessed by artistic and economic fortune. Asterisk is tribal, a primitive realm, hunter and gatherers. That one is agricultural. I guess that's a seed. Harvest and farming-based society and culture. The one that looks kind of like a tooth or teeth. Martial, military... I don't know. In generation spanning arguments. Interesting. Metropolitan. Looks like a building. Large city-state with a dense urban and populous center. Academic. A center for knowledge, advanced in various scholarly pursuits. These realms are home to many schools, universities, and libraries. Industrial. Looks like a machine. Engineering-driven culture with a focus on manufacturing, invention, and production. Spiritual. Looks like its own little sigil. An elevated reverence for nature, animals, and the forces that guide us. Poetic, looks like a flower. A strong focus on the advancement of the arts, writing, music, and language. Border. Around each sigil is an adorned edge serving as a container for the information within. There are 8 different borders, each one corresponding to a different color. These borders always correspond to the banner and national colors of that specific realm. Okay. So, if the core is also the realm, right? Then the core and the border would be related to each other. Okay, so there's black, red, violet, pink, green, yellow, orange, and white. Putting it all together, by studying the core, rays, motes, and border of the sigil, you should now be able to unlock the meaning behind what had previously been an undecipherable enigma. Red banners marshal fog. But they crossed out red. Okay, so it looks like they're probably just describing this specific sigil right here, because it does have a red border. It has the martial moat. It's got fog rays, and it has a pentagon core, which means something. The one that starts with FE, I think. Yes. Interesting. Well, I will probably need that information at some point. But for now, I've reached the end of the path. Okay, well, good to know there was something there. And there's this door here that isn't open. So that's interesting. There's the chess puzzle. So, now thinking about like the main run, my goals for this run, as always, I want to try to find new rooms. I think that's always a good thing, even if it is potentially not very good for this run. It's good in the long run, so I should do it. Secondly, I do have that blessing about having 5 ranks that have red rooms on them. And then every red room after that gives me 5 gems. Yeah, that's a lot. So I potentially want only 1 red room on each rank. Although I think there are only 5 red rooms, but either way. Or sorry, there are only 8 red rooms. Which means I can only get 15 gems, unless I get like a mirror room, which lets me... Hall of Mirrors, I think it's what it's called. And I think that lets me do copies of rooms I've already drafted. I have not actually drafted Mirror Room, I've just seen its effect in the drawing pool. So that's something I can look out for. I also want to be on the lookout for the chess pieces, especially to see if I can find a queen, because that is one that I have not had yet. Or at least I didn't have last run and haven't noticed it. So let's get started. And dead ends also give me coins. They'll be in the tomb waiting for me. Here's my allowance. And I don't think there's anything else in here. I haven't gotten any packages or anything. So, what am I starting out with? I do have a key card. Let's start off to the right this time. I feel like we had a good run the last time we did that. And let's do parlor so we can get some gems. Okay, I do want to look around to see if there's a chess piece in here. There is a pawn in the parlor. I am going to write that down so I know. Let's see. Chess pieces. Pawn is in parlor. And it's also in the den. That we know for sure. Let's grab the key. Doesn't look like there's another item here, unfortunately. A box next to this box contains gems. Okay. Both boxes next to this box contain gems. A box next to this box is true. So my inclination is to say that both of these are false. This one is true, and this one has the gems. Let me think about that a little bit more before I jump to that conclusion. We know that this one has to be false, which means this one has to be false, which means this one has to be true. Yes, okay. There we go. And I knew I was very close to running out of steps last time, so I'm a little bit more wary about just like running back and forth to fill out ranks. Let's go up here. Security would fit really well. But alternatively, I could get more gems. Yeah, we'll get more gems. And there's the pawn over by the wall. Here's a trunk that I can't open, but I know it's there. There's a trunk in the den. This would give me a red room on this rank, and one that I could potentially just ignore so that I don't have to lose coins every time. And I think that's the best option. So let's do that. And I will want to go in there at least once. So we might as well do that now. Yeah. Because I want to see how everyone's holding their stuff. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't know if these are set up the way the statues are set up. But let me find my notes on the statues, or the stained glass. Stained glass statues. So Rina is number 1. She's holding a gardening hoe. How do I might just take pictures of all these. That might be the best way to do this. Okay, there's one. Where's number 2? Maybe I just have to like click them in order. Maybe it's not a posing thing. Maybe it's just a order of operations thing. Here's 3. Here's 4. Okay, 5 is here. 6 is right here. And 7 is right there. Okay, I now have pictures of all of them. So theoretically, that might be enough information to solve the puzzle of the tomb, but I don't know. Coat check would be a dead end, which might be nice. I have a compass in there, and right now on me I have a key card. Key cards I think are a little bit too reliable to get every run, or at least close to every run. And probably even more reliable than me actually drafting a coat check. Although I do get it and pass it up a lot. Maybe if I had something a little more uncommon on me, I wouldn't do that. Pantry could be nice just to get some coins, but I also don't want to block myself off from both sides right now. So we're going to go with hallway. Okay, I think storeroom would be great here. Also gives me a dead end. So that's 5 coins in the tomb. Okay. Let's go here. Security doesn't fit too well here. Pantry really doesn't fit. Hallway really does fit. So sure. I'm okay with that. These two would really not fit well. Yeah, I'm okay with doing this. And I do have 7 coins, so I can see if I can afford anything. Yeah, this machine is not usable. But maybe in a future patch. Day 20 and 21. All items up to 50% off. Interesting. Okay, the shovel is 6. I might just buy the shovel. Because I've had 0 luck in digging. And it's day, what, 9? Day 10, actually. Yeah, we'll get the shovel. And I'll leave it at that. Okay. And let's keep going up. Ooh. Okay. Locksmith I have not seen yet. But closet has items. And I can't currently afford anything at the locksmith, most likely. So we're going to do closet. I keep passing up locksmith, which is probably not a good idea, considering I have not drafted it yet. But that's okay. I do have a key now, which is nice. Let's go up here. That's also 10 coins now in the tomb. Kitchen would be okay. Spare room would guarantee that I can keep going. Because I can already reach the room above the chapel. So let's do this. And let's turn around. Yeah, let's turn around and go not through the chapel. I do have 2 keys, but I don't think I'm going to use one of my only 2 keys on the trunk. Courtyard could be good. Although I can already make it... Well, no, I shouldn't say I can already make it above the chapel. I want to be able to not have to go into the chapel. So this could be a good way to circumvent that. And there's good potential for digging spots here. Yes, I see 1, 2. I see 2. That's good. No items, but here we go. A few old coins. Okay, two coins. And here, a few unimpressive pebbles. Okay, so you have the chance of getting absolutely nothing from digging spots. That's good to know. Let's go to the room above the chapel. Hallway doesn't really seem good here. Nook could be really good. It gives me a key too. Locksmith. Yeah, okay, let's do locksmith. 3 coins probably isn't enough, but I can at least justify walking in. That's a lot of keys. And a lot of locks. Alright. 5 for 1 key, 12 for 3 keys, 8 for a special key, and 10 for a lockpick kit. Okay. That's not too bad. So you get a deal for getting 3 keys. You can also just get what I assume is a random special key. And then a lockpick kit. Okay, yeah. This might be a good use for my coins when I go back to the tomb. There's also a digging spot in the tomb. I do remember that. So these two would lead me into those lower ranks. I'm a little tempted to re-roll or redraw to try to get a red one here. But it's also my only reroll. So I'm thinking pantry to get some coins. Makes a lot of sense here. And I will have to go all the way back to the spare room to keep going up. But I think that's okay. And I do get some extra steps for my trouble. That's nice. Yep, okay. Okay. They said 50 steps should be more than enough. So I'm wondering if that means there are 50 steps worth of fruit in the mansion every day. I think that would make sense. Security could actually not be too bad here. It would bring me across and would allow me to do the thing, change security levels. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Any items? More steps, that's nice. Okay, let's change the security levels. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. But there's now 15 coins. Interesting. 1 trunk, 1 upgrade disc. Did I miss that? I must have missed that somewhere. Oh boy. 1 upgrade disc, huh? It's not in here, as far as I can tell. I think I've already noted that there are air vents and security. Okay, whatever. I will find the upgrade disc, hopefully. And what we want to do right now is change everything. And we want to change this to unlocked. And then we go back. And I think that's all I want to do right now. So there's a key card somewhere. Also, I have 15. So I have 2 dead ends. So how do I have 15? No, I have 3. I have the storeroom, I have the closet, and I have the locksmith. Okay, 15 coins. Gotcha. Furnace would be a red room. It would also make it more likely to draw red rooms, which I think I do want right now. Freezer is also one that I haven't seen before, though. I don't know if I want to freeze my accounts. That's not really what I'm looking to do, especially when I have so many coins sitting around. Yeah, we're gonna go furnace. I know freezer is probably something I need to do at some point, and I'll probably have to do it at an inconvenient time. Coin, nice. Okay, so far the digging seems a little underwhelming, considering I haven't been able to do it this whole time, but it's probably just a matter of not being very lucky. I realize I should be looking for the disc, the upgrade disc. And that goes in there. I did not see an upgrade disc in there. I do have 8 coins, so I could buy a special key or a normal key. And I might want to do that while I'm here. Yeah. Let's buy a special key. Whoa. You bought prism key. If you unlock a door with the prism key in a green room, hallway, bedroom, red room, or shop, you will draw floor plans of that same color. Huh. Okay. Interesting. That could be really useful for my little red room kick that I'm on. Although I am already more likely to draw them. So, who knows? I'm going to look around for the upgrade disc. I'm not seeing one in here. There is a trunk. I don't feel like I have enough keys to justify doing that. I am going to not go into the chapel, even though the upgrade disc might be in there. Okay, none in here. Probably none in here. I don't think there are ever any items in here unless I've specifically requested them. I also have no idea if there are upgrade discs in like the general areas outside that I can access. I would think not, but who knows really. I don't see any from here, so I'm not going to go in there. Right. Okay. So clearly it's in a room that I did not go to yet. Or that I did not check again just now. Unless it's in here. No, because there's never anything in here. Okay. I guess I'm going without the upgrade disc this time. Wow, it really does make it more likely to draw a red room, huh? I can't do that one. I could do weight room, but I'd end up with, what, 19 steps? Which seems really risky. Let's do this one, even though it's not an ideal placement. It does lose me steps, but I don't go down to 19. 19 would be really not good. Okay. I don't necessarily want another red room on the same rank. So what I would like to do is do bedroom here. I'm not going to go in there yet. I'm instead going to go up here. I'll use a normal key. Yes, I'll use a normal key. It seems like I'm getting at least one red room every single time. This one keeps my options open. I feel like it's pretty likely to have keycard doors as well. Maid's chamber I haven't had yet though. Less likely to find items laying around in your house. So not great, but I haven't seen it yet. And I know Maid's chamber does have an effect on the office. So there's that. Let's do it because I haven't seen it yet. Staff notice. The day we all dreaded has finally arrived. Yes, I think I've read this before. Yep. That was in another room at some point. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the one with the broom is Mila? Not sure how to pronounce that. I'm not really sure how to pronounce any of these names. Just to be fair. Holding a broom. So I feel like at some point I will learn the names of all of these statues. Interesting. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those faces before. They all kind of have the exact same pose as they do in other pictures I've seen of them, which is a little silly. Okay. And yeah, doesn't seem to be much else to do in here. No items to pick up or anything. Probably because this makes it less likely to find items. But I did get some information, so that's nice. Well, I don't necessarily want a red room here. What I could do is do corridor and hope that the end of this... No, the corridor is always left unlocked. I was going to say if the other door was locked, then I could use the special key on it to put another hallway there to make it so that I will go up. But what I could also do is go to the dark room, go north, draw a random room, which will probably be a red room. And then I'd start having the bonus for the only 2 red rooms remaining. I don't know. Let's redraw, even though that's probably a waste. That might be a little bit of a waste, but I'll do dining room. I have no idea if there's anything in the bedroom. I could just walk in and find out since it doesn't cost me anything to do that. So I will go ahead and do that. There's a pawn in the bedroom. I kind of forgot that I was looking for chess pieces. Oops. Okay. There's a pawn in the bedroom. Good to know. Oh, a gem. I feel like diamonds should be worth more than the others, but I guess that's okay. Okay, what I would like to do now is, this is the only way to go. Special key would not help me here. So let's use a normal key. Office could actually be really good here, although it would use 2 of my 3 gems. But let's do that. Is there anything to pick up? I don't think so. We can open up the safe, but we can't actually open up the safe because I don't know the code. We can activate this terminal. Yeah, sure, we can do that. So there's theoretically a salary located in the mate's chamber now, which is only 2 rooms away. Can also spread gold. Sure, I'll spread it now. Although I probably could have done it later when I have more rooms, because I know I'll be passing through here, but that's fine. Okay. So, gold is now in several places. The maid's chamber also, I'm assuming, has gold. Let's see what's going on here. This would be a dead end. I can't afford a dead end. That's the issue. Could do hallway. Yeah. Okay. Dead end, not dead end, but it uses my last gem. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to I don't want a dead end. I probably should not have used my reroll earlier. That might have been the mistake that costs me this run. Or it may have just been, you know, going after red rooms too much. This is a blue room. The special key is not going to help me, but I do need to use it. Oh, I literally can't use it. Wow. Okay. So that's it. Huh. Okay, well, I can go see what the salary looks like. I can look around, scrounge for coins. Not seeing any here. So there should be... Aha. Okay, so 8 coins. Payroll slip. Payroll issued for the week of 11/15. Amount 10 gold. 10 gold. Oh, I just can't count. Okay, so that's the salary. There's some gold here. So that's nice. Might be worth it to look around for that upgrade disc. So I am gonna go in here, see if it's laying around in here, and I missed it. Wow, it's a lot of gold. Metal detector could be useful for finding. I just realized I can also go buy keys. I completely forgot that was a thing. So I might be wasting all my steps looking for the upgrade disc. And I might not want to spend all my money on this if I want to buy keys, because I could buy 3 keys, and that could be really helpful. Yeah, give me the salt shaker. Maybe not the best item to have chosen. I'm going to assume the upgrade disc is not in there, because I feel like I would have seen it, and I don't want to waste my steps. So we go this way. Man, that really did spread a lot of coins. That's incredible. And in here, there's the chapel. No coins in here. Can't open the trunk. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I don't see an upgrade disc here either. I would like 3 keys, please. I could buy another key, so I will. Thank you. Now the question is, do I actually have enough steps to get anywhere? I have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 gets me to the drawing room, and then I would have no steps left. Actually, 12 only gets me to the hallway because the gymnasium's in the way. So maybe it wasn't a good idea to buy a bunch of keys. What I could do is open the chest in here. I'm not making a whole ton of good decisions in this run, which is unfortunate. It gives me some gems, not especially helpful. Let's see, the commissary had a sleeping mask, and the sleeping mask gives me steps at some point. I don't remember when it gives me steps, but I've also used all my coins already. So I think what I'm gonna do now, probably should have gone into the chapel to see if the upgrade disc was in there. And I think I'm gonna do that since I don't necessarily plan on making it back to anywhere specific. Where the heck is the upgrade disc? Have I not checked? I mean, I haven't checked the closet. And I haven't checked the storeroom. It could be in the storeroom. But other than those two rooms, I feel like I've pretty thoroughly checked every room. Let me go ahead and write down that the bishop is in the chapel, even though I remember that one pretty well because it makes sense in my head. Chapel, okay. Okay, how many steps do I have? 7. And what I wanted to try to make it back to was the tomb. So if I go to the storeroom, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I would run out of steps walking into. I also don't have enough steps to even go to the storeroom and make it to security. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So let's ignore the key card, unfortunately. And let's head out to the tomb and see if I can do anything with that. In terms of the puzzle in there. I'll also get a bunch of coins, but that doesn't really help me. Let's run a little bit. Now, where would the coins be? Probably where the other coins were. Yes. Wow. A whole bunch of coins that I can't do anything with. How exciting. Okay. So what I want to do now is look at my pictures that I took. And I'll try just triggering them in the order of the pictures. So the first one is Rinna with the gardening hoe. So that would be... Also haven't checked to see if there are names on the statues. There are not. Okay. Anyway, this is Orinda actually, so I think. Okay, this is one. Two is the paddle thing, which is this one. Okay. 3 is like a pitchfork. It's this one. 4 is a feather duster, which I think is this one. Yeah, same hat too. 5 is a broom. And I'm going to mark that on my note about Mila. That's number 5. And Orinda is number 7. Okay, anyway, number 6 has the little stick with a loop on it that I should know what it is, but I don't. That's that, and there's a little brush thing at the end. Yeah, I've got no clue. And then, yes, the last one would be Orinda. Oh. Watch me not have enough steps to do whatever this is. It would not surprise me in the slightest. Still in the tomb, still in the tomb. Catacombs. 3 steps left. Okay. Whoa. Wow, okay. An arrow pointing this way. Interesting. So they want me to go that way. But this looks intriguing. And terrifying. Oh. Okay. Man, this is gonna suck when I go through here and run out of steps. Okay. Abandoned mine. Oh, abandoned mine. Okay. What we want to do here. Oh, I can just manually move this. Interesting. I hope it doesn't take steps to just like walk around in the abandoned mine. Because my ultimate hope is to unlock... Oh, holy crap. What the heck? This is kind of insane. Seem to be a lot of pedestals on the sides, and that looks like a very high-tech passageway. This goes real deep. I can't even see the bottom. And I'm not sure what's being controlled from here. I'm glad that didn't take a step. I was willing to risk it too. I was like, if this is the last step to take, I will take it because that looks too good. Can't move it forward. I can move it back, which isn't super helpful for me right now, I don't think. No, because I can't get past it, but I can potentially rotate that thing in that room and then come back this way. Or just come around from this direction, I don't know. This also looks intriguing. Oh boy. Something Jill points. Dreams. 1 foundation elevator, 2 concealed entrance, 3 cliffside exit, 4 minecart, 5 fountain entrance. Fountain entrance. Well, that's exciting. 6 tomb entrance. That's where I came in. 7 torch chamber. 8 rotating gear. I've seen that for sure. 9 to north lever. North lever. 10 build floor, buried floor plan. North lever. North lever would open up. Is this the upgrade disc that they were telling me to find? I can't even use it. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. This obviously is something. Oh, it's a sigil. That's ORIN is the one that symbol, the core, represents. The rays are fog, and the the things, what are they called? Moats. They are industrial. I'm not sure about the border. I guess it may be black. Interesting. I wonder if I should write all this down. Probably, right? Sigils. This one is ORIN. It has fog rays, and it has industrial moats, and it's got black border question mark. Okay. So that's that. I'm really glad I'm not using any steps. This is okay. Reservoir. That use a step for sure. Can I walk into the water? I cannot. And I can't grab that boat. So I can't make it across there. And I'm assuming this is also going to use a step. No. But it's flooded. Okay. So, what did we learn from that? Probably should have taken a picture of the floor plan. Yep. What I did learn is that there's a fountain entrance. So it might be that the tomb and the fountain are the two entrances they were talking about in that note that I found in the gemstone cavern. I don't know how the fountain entrance would work, except that maybe I need a pump room and I need to empty the fountain. That could be it. The tomb was definitely interesting enough that if I draw it again, I don't know what I'm talking about. All of the outer rooms are really interesting. So it's just going to depend. But there's enough down there to explore that it would definitely be worth my time to draft that again, if given the opportunity. That being said, I could also draw the shelter again and potentially open that safe now that I know the date. Day 10. Interesting. Okay. I did get the maid's chamber, which didn't do much, but it did tell me the name of one of the people, who I'm assuming is a maid. What's interesting is that all the statues and all of the stained glass windows in the chapel seem to be like servants of some sort. Like they're all laborers, except possibly Orinda, who might be like in charge of everything. So I don't know what that means, but it is interesting, especially considering they're like the symbols in the chapel. Like that's not necessarily what I would expect to be up in a chapel. We learned about sigils, and we even saw a sigil. And I think I got everything written down for what that sigil was. I didn't really write down all of the info I have on sigils, so I'm just working off of memory, but it might be worth it for me to go back and write that stuff down. We don't have a key card tomorrow, so that is a little different than normal, or what we've come to know as normal for the past few runs. But I didn't even use a single key card this time, so I don't know if the key card is really that worth it, especially since I got security and had the opportunity to draft the utility closet. We got some of the chess pieces written down, although I wasn't really paying attention quite as much as I probably should have. And yeah, I think overall the run itself was not great, but I did draft 3 new rooms, which is awesome. And exploring the tomb was a lot of fun too. I would like to do that in the future with some more steps, which I can do now that I know how to unlock that area in the tomb. It's probably just unlocked from now on anyway. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider leaving a like or a positive comment. That really helps me out. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.